Have you ever been ghosted? You thought things were going great, then suddenly, she disappears without explanation, leaving you confused and wondering what went wrong. Or maybe she switches between intense interest and complete silence. One day she's all in, the next, she's nowhere to be found. Frustrating, right? Let's be honest, some women play games. And if you don't learn to recognize and respond to those games, you'll find yourself caught in a cycle of confusion, frustration, and heartbreak. Here's the truth, you're not at fault for the games, but you are responsible for how you deal with them. Today, I'm sharing 10 unshakable strategies for dealing with emotionally manipulative behavior. Not through manipulation, but through mastery of yourself, grounded in the philosophy of Stoicism. You'll learn how to remain centered, calm, and emotionally untouchable, the kind of man who can't be toyed with. Let's get into it. What you're about to discover could completely change how you approach women and relationships. Why do some women play these games? Before we dive into the strategies, let's tackle the bigger question. Why do some women engage in emotional games? Why the ghosting, the mixed signals, the hot and cold behavior? The answer: many of these behaviors are tests, intentional or not. They're used to measure your emotional stability and see whether you're easily thrown off balance, controlled, or manipulated. If you respond by chasing, overreacting, or becoming needy, you fail the test. You lose respect. You become just another man looking for approval. But here's the good news. You don't have to play along. You're going to rise above it. Instead of reacting to the emotional ups and downs, you'll become the stillness in the chaos. Stoicism will be your tool for staying grounded and in control, no matter how unpredictable the situation gets. Because ultimately, this isn't just about getting the girl. It's about reclaiming control over your emotions, and your life. So if you're tired of the games and ready to step into your power, keep reading. These 10 Stoic strategies will show you how. 1. Detach emotionally and stop reacting. At the core of Stoic strength is emotional detachment. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care, it means your emotions don't dictate your actions. You stop reacting on impulse. When a woman withdraws or becomes distant, many men panic. They overthink, chase, or try to fix the situation. But reacting that way only proves the test worked, it shows you're emotionally dependent. Instead, stay even-keeled. Whether she's texting non-stop or ghosting you, your internal state remains the same, calm, grounded, and centered. Emotional control is magnetic. The more detached you are, the more powerful you become. And that power is attractive. 2. Spot the patterns of manipulation. Certain behaviors follow predictable patterns, if you know what to look for. Take the classic hot and cold routine. She's fully into you one moment, then distant the next. This inconsistency is meant to keep you chasing, trying to win her back. But if you don't take the bait, if you stay calm and let her come to you, you flip the power dynamic. She's now questioning your response. Or consider breadcrumbing, giving just enough attention to keep you around, without genuine effort or commitment. Your move. Call it out, calmly, without drama. I'm not interested in half-effort. If you're not genuinely into this, that's okay, but I'm not here to be strung along. You're not angry. You're self-respecting. That's the difference. 3. Set boundaries early, and enforce them. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. A man who doesn't set them invites disrespect. And contrary to what some believe, strong boundaries don't repel women, they attract them. Why? Because they signal confidence and self-worth. If she repeatedly cancels plans, shows up late, or disrespects your time, speak up. I value consistency. If this dynamic doesn't work for you, I understand. But I won't settle for less than mutual respect. This isn't an ultimatum, it's clarity. And if she crosses the line again, you walk. Even if she flirts with others in front of you, don't get reactive. Just say, if you're interested in someone else, I respect that. But I'm not here to compete for attention. Stay clear. Stay calm. Hold your ground. 4. Stay calm under pressure. When you're tested, your greatest strength is your composure. She brings up her ex, flirts with someone else, or throws a passive-aggressive comment your way. Most men react emotionally, jealousy, anger, insecurity. But not you. You stay cool. Maybe you even diffuse it with humor or indifference. Sounds like he was a good guy. That disarms her. She expected a reaction, and got none. That's power. Your silence and calmness speak louder than any argument. You're showing her, I'm not here to play games. 5. Focus on your mission, not her mood. The fastest way to avoid being manipulated? Stop making her your focus. Too many men lose themselves when they start dating someone. They abandon their routines, purpose, and passions in favor of chasing attention. Big mistake. A Stoic man is mission first. His goals, health, and self-development come before emotional drama. If she pulls away, plays games, or becomes inconsistent, you don't chase. You double down on your purpose. You keep building your life. And when she sees that her behavior doesn't shake your focus, she realizes you're different. You're not desperate. You're disciplined. 6. Never compromise your self-respect. One of the most dangerous traps is trading self-worth for the chance to keep her. Men tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, and mixed signals in hopes that patience will eventually pay off. But that's how respect is lost. The moment you tolerate poor treatment, you teach her that your standards are negotiable. A Stoic man doesn't tolerate disrespect. If she insults you, belittles you, or undermines your goals, you don't fight back, you walk away. Because the price of staying in a toxic dynamic is far greater than the discomfort of walking away. Respect yourself first, and others will follow suit. 7. Observe, don't absorb. Emotional games are designed to pull you in and provoke a reaction. She ignores your message, flirts with someone else, or says something hurtful, and you begin questioning yourself. But a Stoic man doesn't internalize the chaos, he watches it. He sees emotional drama as a storm passing by. He doesn't step into it, he observes from a distance. Because he knows, her actions reflect her character, not his worth. By shifting from reaction to observation, you maintain control and protect your peace. Ask yourself, does this person add value, or drama? Is she emotionally mature, or playing games? Stay aware, not reactive. 8. Stop trying to change her, start watching her. One of the most exhausting mistakes men make in relationships is thinking they can change a woman's behavior. You assume that if you just explain your feelings clearly enough, if you're patient, loving, and vulnerable, she'll suddenly stop the drama, the mind games, the inconsistency. You convince yourself that with time, she'll get it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't coach someone into character. People don't change because you beg them to. They change only when they decide to. And often, they don't change at all. What you're seeing, the flakiness, the emotional swings, the hot and cold patterns, that is who she is. That's not a temporary glitch. That's her programming. A Stoic man understands this at his core. He doesn't waste his energy trying to mold, fix, or explain someone into becoming more respectful, consistent, or emotionally grounded. Instead, he watches. He steps back. He observes her actions without judgment or desperation. He pays attention to patterns, not promises. And that subtle shift, from "let me help her be better" to "let me see who she truly is," changes everything. Because when you watch instead of fix, you stop projecting your hopes onto her. You stop holding on to potential. You stop rationalizing bad behavior just because you want her to be someone she's not. Let her reveal herself. Does she make plans and flake without apology? Does she test your emotional boundaries just to see if you'll chase? Does she disrespect your time, energy, or values? You don't need to confront her with a lecture. You don't need to start a long debate. You simply take mental notes. And if the patterns continue, you walk away, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. Because your job is not to shape her into your ideal woman. Your job is to see clearly whether she already aligns with your standards. There's nothing cold or arrogant about this. It's about living with discernment. You're not here to rescue, repair, or rehabilitate someone who thrives on emotional chaos. You're here to choose. And to choose wisely, you must watch without attachment. 9. Don't chase, let her qualify to you. One of the biggest mindset traps men fall into is believing that women are the ultimate prize to win. From a young age, many men are conditioned to think that the goal is to impress her, to win her over, to be chosen. But this mindset puts you at a disadvantage. You give away your power by placing her on a pedestal and placing yourself in a position of pursuit. You forget that you are the prize too. A Stoic man doesn't chase validation. He doesn't seek approval. He doesn't try to perform for affection. He evaluates. He understands that not every woman deserves a seat at his table, no matter how beautiful she is, how sweet she talks, or how intense the chemistry feels. He's not led by emotion or infatuation. He's grounded in self-worth. He asks tough, but necessary questions. Does she bring peace or chaos into my life? Is she emotionally intelligent, or emotionally erratic? Does she respect my boundaries, or test them for sport? Is she aligned with my vision, or does she distract me from it? These aren't arrogant questions. They're the questions a man asks when he values his energy and knows what he's building. Because here's the truth, anyone can be charming for a few weeks. But consistency over time is what reveals a person's character. So instead of trying to impress her, you shift the frame. Let's see if she qualifies to be in my world. You're not rude. You're not dismissive. But you don't ignore red flags just because you're emotionally invested. You don't settle just to avoid being alone. And when she realizes that you're the one evaluating, that you won't compete for attention, beg for love, or tolerate drama, her entire energy shifts. She now wants to show up with authenticity. Because she knows you're not like most men. You're not looking to be chosen. You're choosing. And that quiet power is deeply attractive, not just to women, but to everyone around you. 10. Be willing to walk away, and mean it. This is the final test. The line that separates boys from men, reaction from resolution, emotional chaos from grounded strength. You must be willing to walk away. Not as a manipulation tactic. Not to provoke a reaction. Not to make her chase you. But because your peace is worth more than any connection that costs you your self-respect. Here's what most men do. They set boundaries, but don't enforce them. They recognize red flags, but ignore them. They see the games, but keep hoping she'll change. They stay in situations that drain their energy, kill their confidence, and make them question their worth, all because they're afraid to lose her. But a Stoic man doesn't live in fear of loss. He lives in alignment with his values. If you've communicated clearly, if you've shown respect, patience, and maturity, if you've observed consistent disrespect, manipulation, or drama, you walk silently, calmly, without resentment, without the need for closure, without looking back. Because the man who can walk away at any moment is the man who holds all the power, not over her, but over himself. And paradoxically, that's when you often gain the most respect, not just from her, but from the world. People can feel when you don't need them. When you choose them from a place of abundance, not lack. That's magnetic. And here's the deeper truth, when you stay in a situation that requires you to abandon your standards just to be loved, you're not really in a relationship, you're in a performance. Walking away is not loss, it's liberation. It's not giving up, it's choosing yourself. So make this your creed. I will never sacrifice my peace for someone else's chaos. I will never betray myself to keep someone who doesn't value me. And when you live by that code, the emotional games stop having power over you. Final thought. This isn't about ego. It's not about revenge. It's not about controlling women or beating them at their own game. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to play games in the first place. A man who's calm under pressure. Grounded in purpose. Clear in boundaries. Steady in emotion. Unshakable in self-worth. A man who isn't desperate to be chosen, but is discerning about who he chooses. Because when you embody Stoic strength, you stop attracting women who test your limits, and start attracting women who respect your standards. You won't have to demand respect. You'll command it. By simply being a man who respects himself first.